All right. I am here with TJ Gausman, and we are going to talk about, do you drop your commission in order to make a deal work? TJ, I am so excited to hear your thoughts on this. I'm sure it's never happened to you that a seller's asked you to do that. Has it?
Never. We call this the R. Kelly remix to commission.
The
Yeah,
R.
we do
Kelly.
not.
Oh
Yeah, we do
God.
not. We do not like commission remixes.
No.
Um, so yeah, and you were actually talking about a scenario. Kind of explain the scenario that you had in mind, so we can
Yeah, so
discuss
the
it.
scenario is that the seller engaged with the real estate agent. They signed a listing agreement for the price, and also for they have an agreement commission as part of that hiring paperwork.
Yeah.
Then the seller gets an offer that is less than what they expected or wanted, and in turn they've asked the agent to restructure and reduce the commission as to make the deal work. So what do you
Okay.
do?
Yeah, I think the big thing is it's got to start with a conversation. So agents have this tendency to get like offended, and it's
Yeah,
bad.
there's no reason to get offended. They're
No, it's
not
not.
saying like they're not saying like you did a bad job. Like
Right.
it's okay to ask questions. It's not a problem.
Yes. Yeah, and it's so easy to get combative. I always go with a question like, share with me how that feels fair to you. Something where it's just very like,
Oh my God. Can you imagine if I said that? The tone of it would just be so aggressive. Like,
right, yeah, and that's the danger, right? Like you need to know who you are. So
right,
like, I can say that and some and they don't get upset if you
right.
say something like, share with me how that sounds fair to you.
Yeah, it sounds like they're talking to their mom. Yeah. I think like cuz this can happen, right? And I can see how the in my eyes, I think one, it's okay to ask a question. Two, we've already agreed to the fee. Like if you don't like the offer, that's not a problem. We could just continue to try to find a buyer, but let's really talk through this, like what
Yes.
is this offer a fair offer or is it a ridiculous offer?
Yeah.
Like where are we at?
Yes. And I think sometimes they just need to like hear it, right? Like,
Yeah.
and I agree with you 100%. It's always okay for your buyers and sellers to ask questions.
Yeah.
It's never, it shouldn't be offensive. Like they don't know the way you do business. Like that's
I
part
would
of.
actually challenge people, if it is offensive, then I would really take a hard look at yourself and say, are you doing the amount of business that you feel like you can do or should be doing? Because
Yeah.
there's no reason to get offended by this. It's like the answer is no. We have an agreement in place and we've already agreed to that. And we listed the property based on what we believed we could get for it. Now we have a fact here. And a fact is we have an offer for less than what we thought it was worth. Do
Yes.
you want to relook at the facts and say, well, maybe is this the new value? Because pricing is a moment in time. Or do you just want to reject or counter? I mean, everybody has choices.
Yes. Yeah. And one big thing I always like to let clients know is like, as a real estate agent, I'm not a part of the
Yeah.
transaction. This is a
Right.
two-part deal. It's you and it's the buyers.
Right.
And any negotiation is going to be between those two parties.
Right.
I'm not a part of this negotiation. You and I already did that part.
Yeah.
And most people, again, once you say no and you say it with
It's
confidence,
fine.
yeah. Now, if you start being a weasel, like, well, I usually don't look, they're going to feel that and you're done. Like you've got
What
to be
about
confident.
if the situation changes? So, because we've done an episode on Real Estate Fight Club about this, Monica and I did, and I was getting different answers from agents based on the scenario. So, this is just a contract came in, it was less, which, isn't, it will start happening more, I believe.
Yeah.
But let's say there is a gap in the appraisal. The appraisal came in less than what the contract was, but you as the listing agent, let's say you're the listing agent, and I don't know if it matters if you're the listing or the buying agent, but you didn't negotiate a gap. So now, do you reduce it now?
No, no. In fact, in this market, I would never reduce it on the listing side once I'm in a contract. We can sell this house in another day. So to me, it's like Now on the buy side, that's the only time right now where I would consider, just because I've got to look at the value of my time. So
Okay.
sometimes paying $1,000 to make 11,000 to get a deal done and be done with it might be worth it to me. But it's really about if it's worth it to me. It's not about the buyer,
Right.
because now I'm giving up my money, not theirs.
Right.
So that would be something
But
where,
I would think, I would question, like, if $1,000 is going to make or break, do they want to go out looking for property for $1,000?
okay, I'm with you there. I've had a couple situations that I can remember where literally the straw that broke the camel's back was 500 to $1,000, and we're talking, 10,000 plus dollars gross. And in those situations, I can think of two. I did it, and I did it just because anybody who's going to be crazy over 500 bucks is probably annoying anyway, and I'm probably done dealing with them. So sometimes
I
you
don't
just
know. I
have to
think
wrap
sometimes
it
you
up.
have to call the blood. Here's the thing. I agree with you. And the first thing that you said is that the payment, the agreed upon pay for the job, which the job is to market the home to, I mean, I guess that's where we need to start. Like, what is it that you're hiring me to do? Right? Either on the buy side or the sell side. Like, what is it
Yes.
that we're hiring me to do? Did I fulfill those duties? And if I did fulfill those, I never once promised that we would get an offer, because I'm not, for a price, because I'm not buying your house and I'm not offering that for your house. Right?
Yes.
If I was
Yep.
buying it, it would be a different price, probably. Right?
Yeah. Yep.
So if I did my job, the thing that you hired me to do, it makes no sense to me that I would reduce that, because now you have to take into your situation and your factors. This, and there's also just facts. Like, these are the facts. Say you got 3 offers, like you had mentioned, oh, well, we'll get an offer another day. Well, maybe not. Say you've gotten 2 offers or 3 offers, they're pretty much the same price. And now
Yeah.
you have the third one.
Right.
Okay, sure, we can go back on, but this is
Right.
the third offer. It's the same price. Now we need to decide, like, is this really the market value or not?
Yes. Yeah. And I'm with you. And here's the deal, dude. If you're not getting your number in this market, you're never getting your number. I
Right.
mean, right? Like, seriously, your number is unrealistic at that point if we can't get it for you right now. And we don't do any less work, right? When we
Right.
get a lower offer, we don't do any less work when the
Right.
appraisal misses. And if we go back to market with me or somebody else, guess what? The appraisal is not going to change. If anything, it's probably going to go down.
It might go down. Right. So
Right.
you have
So
to, like, all of these are facts, right? But
yes.
if I did my portion of the job, which is to find a qualified buyer, market the property, do everything I promised you, I
Yep.
can't control what that buyer is going to offer. And I cannot control what the seller will take.
Yes.
So that's not part of my fee, I guess. I mean, the
I think that's
negotiation is, right?
yes.
But that's where you have to be like, okay, does this work for you? Yes or no? Okay, let's fight for what you want if it doesn't work for you. But then
Yes.
if we did that, then we're done.
Yeah, I agree. And here's the other thing, Jen. If you're getting this question a lot, you're doing something wrong.
Right.
You're missing some level of confidence there and trust. And in another way, if you're afraid of this question, address it on the front end during the listing contract. Just say, hey, look, this is what I charge. It's not negotiable. This is what you're getting for this price. And
Yeah.
I only get paid if the home closes.
Right. And that's it.
Done.
Yeah.
Done.
I only
You
get paid.
know?
Yeah. If when you and a buyer reach an agreement and you have an
Yep.
accepted offer and it closes, and that's it. Like, that's it.
That's it.
What about, some of the agents were saying, well, maybe if like the repairs came back too high, they'll kind of throw it
Yeah.
in. And I think they were alluding to what you had said before, like
Yeah.
taking into account their time and stuff like that. But for
Yeah.
me, it's kind of the same thing. It's like, these are the repairs. Like, I don't live here. I'm not
Yeah.
buying it. I'm not
Yeah.
a contractor. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know what to tell you. You can accept, reject, or counter this request.
Yeah, and I think like that hardline approach, there's a benefit to that, right? Because it's kind of like skipping school. The first time you do it, you're nervous, but
Yeah.
once you do it once, it's okay.
How many times did you
Um,
skip school, TJ?
I skipped a lot of school,
Oh,
Jen.
no.
A
All
lot of
great real
school.
estate agents skip school.
Yeah, a lot of school. So like if you're someone where you've never done that before, I would really push to continue that streak. I
Yeah.
mean, it's such a bad habit. And like, yeah, a little here, little there. But you've got to think if you're giving a half a point, you're giving up almost 20%
Yeah.
of your income.
Right.
That's real money. And
It
we've
is.
got to look at it that way, not a 0.5 or whatever,
Right.
like 20%.
Right.
It's real
It's a
money.
lot. Yeah, it is real money. And I would challenge us too, like just did you do what you said you would do in order to help your client get what they wanted? Now, I bet that if you're negotiating this, then you don't believe that you did what you said you would do. And that's a different story.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think a lot of this is confidence. Um,
Mhm.
and and if you do an awesome job, they will trust you, and this will not come up very often.
I don't, yeah, it really hasn't come. I mean, maybe like twice, but like, I think it's funny. Look, I think everybody should ask for a discount. I know people ask for a discount at the dollar store. You know what I mean? Like, why not?
Yeah, yeah,
What's the worst he could
right,
say? It's no, it's fine.
right.
No
And
problem.
listen, sometimes they're just testing you. I had an investor client that said, "Hey, cash, clean, fast, everything was good." And he said, "The only thing is, it needs a roof. Do you mind throwing in for that?" And I said, "No, I'm not going to do that." And at closing, he's like, "Hey, man, I appreciated that. I just figured I'd throw it out there and see if you'd
Why
do it."
not? Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
but like he went for it, and I didn't get angry. I just said no, and it was okay. It was all
It's
okay.
totally fine. It's
Yeah,
totally fine. It's not a problem. Just decide what you charge and then let that be the charge and then honor your word and
yeah,
do what you say you're going to do. And that's it. You're done.
yeah. I think that's fair. I think that's really fair, and it's good way to live life and business. Keep your word, stick to it.
Yeah, true. Well, TJ, you always have some good scripts and things to say. If people want to run a scenario by you and say, hey, what should I say in this scenario or anything they want to talk to you, what's the best way to get a hold of you?
Yeah, you can just text me or call me 513-379-2000. Love a good role play. Let's do it. That'd be fun.
Nice.